Welcome or welcome back to WatchAdvisor on YouTube, where the watches are the stars. But today it is Wilhelm Schmid, my star. Wilhelm, a very warm welcome. It's always good to come back to Lange Söhne during Watches and Wonders. You know, we have that tradition with Rooibos tea. We had our Rooibos tea this time already at the bar before. We chatted a little bit because we haven't seen each other for a longer time.
And I can confess it was a Rooibos tea, it wasn't a beer.
The Radeberger is about 5 o'clock, is Radeberger time.
Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the bell to get our latest notifications.
Last year you were celebrating a lot. This year, in theory, you could celebrate again because it's 180 years, but you don't do...
No.
It's not.
No. No, look, Alexander, I think you can also overdo anniversaries. If there's an anniversary, it has to be important. And I believe because you were there 25 years of datograph, that's worth celebrating to give people an idea that a great design can survive 30 years without major changes. I believe in a world where product life cycles are usually less than 12 months, it's also worth celebrating. So that's why we said these two big watches, that's what we emphasize on. This year we could have, but we don't. This year is a different rhythm.
If you have substance, you don't need to celebrate all the time because it's artificially making noise. And you don't need that.
We don't want that, actually.
Anyhow, you were one of the companies starting very early to make more thinner, smaller watches and to go more in style. Watches were bold, big, and you couldn't get them under the sleeve. But your product cycles are 7 years, 5 years, 10 years. You can't estimate any trend in advance because this is impossible.
It's a big misunderstanding that if you do what we do, you can follow trends. Because quite frankly, I don't know what I want in 3 years' time. Probably you don't know exactly what you want in 3 years' time. But how can we work on something which we will only unveil in 3 years' time, anticipating a trend? So that's none of our business. Talking about bigger or smaller, we always emphasized to make a watch as small as possible. However, without compromising. The minute repeater has been water resistant. Of course, if you have a water resistant case, you have seals, automatically it means you increase size a little bit. And that's what we do with all the watches. So if a size is bigger, it's only for two reasons. First of all, we need to find the real estate to put all the little parts in it. And secondly, we want to ensure a certain wearability, robustness, and that usually goes along with size.
I ask you the question because the minute repeater that you're presenting this year is 100% matching a trend that is actually here. Watches are more elegant, they try to understate, you don't show, you understate, and if you wear the new minute repeater and it is under the sleeve, you do not at first sight recognize, you don't see, and it's very elegant, but you couldn't know years ago that you should do this today, but you are perfect in trend. And I was wondering how you do that.
No, I think it's pure luck. So it's pure luck. And the good news is if you don't follow trends, you also can't fail on trends.
And because you set trends probably also.
You know what, even that, we're not in the fashion industry. We're not in the fashion business. So what we do should always be good enough to look good today and look good in 20 years from now on. Because trend usually means it's good for a few months, best case a few years. These watches will survive all of us. And if you look at a beautiful old pocket watch, it is still mesmerizing to look at it. Even it's out of fashion, but that's more our way of thinking, and that's how we produce, design, and develop our watches.
Reflects once again that they are very modest. They do some of the best watches that are available for money, but they are very modest. You know, they don't cry, they don't show. I love it. It's the way how it should be done. This overdoing it, and
I always call it the two souls of our watches, because if you look at the face, the dial, it is always subtle. It's always tries to fly under the radar, which admittingly is very difficult with a black enamel dial. However, it's still discreet. The opposite, and that's the second soul, is if you turn it around and you look at the opulence of the movement, decoration and all that. But again, it's up to you to share or not. It's not us deciding you share with everybody. It's you, whether you do it to indulge yourself or whether it is to embark others on that journey. That's up to you, not up to us.
We just presented the minute repeater with Anthony de Haas. It's always a good conversation. Beautiful. By the way, if you haven't watched the video, check it out on our channel. Anthony de Haas and me talking about the minute repeater. You will get a lesson in how music instruments are built. It's
for sure.
Gorgeous.
Oh, for sure.
As said to Anthony when I had the miniature Peter Mans, you should really work on your logs so you can fit the strap the other way around and the people can wear the watch the other way around. And Anthony said exactly the same. No. This is that personal experience moment, joy you have.
Yeah. Tony and I work a long time together. I would have been very surprised if he had come up with another answer than me.
Let me interrupt this video for a short moment, please. We need you to join our community on our website, www.watchadvisor.com. You can now discover more content. We are going to create forums. We have discussions. You can share stuff. You can come in discussion with me. We're going to present you more insights, more in-deep videos, more in-deep information, and so on and so on and so on and so on. It's all about watches. WatchAdvisor is the name. I am the Watch Advisor. You know that. This was the reason I'm interrupting this video, and now enjoy the rest of it. But we have to say we're talking about elegance and decent and understated. You did the first time also a piece I wouldn't call at first sight understated because it is a full gold watch.
And trust me, Alexander, as we came up with the project, I said to Tony, I mean, you know, a full gold watch for a German is not really subtle. You know, that's the opposite of understatement. And I said to him, that'll be a challenge for us. On the other hand, there's a huge request from our clients. So it's not like we do it because we don't know any better. It's because that's what some of our customers really were desperately asking for. However, to produce a full gold bracelet watch, and it's still an Lange Söhne, I'm so happy that we have honey gold, which is a gold which doesn't look like gold.
Let's say it's taking away some of this aggressive look.
And I can only tell and invite all of you, if you only look at it at magazines or on the screen, it's not a good reflection of the reality of this watch. In real life, that watch is very, very subtle, very, very under the radar. There are so many different colors depending on the light you expose it to. You'll only be able to see that when you touch the watch or have it around your wrist. Very important, don't get trapped by pictures because they don't do justice to that watch.
Is it a limited edition this time? 100 pieces?
Yeah.
My goodness, the battle for it started.
Yeah, I always classify watches in normal headache, medium headache, huge headache. That's on the upper part, or as a lady just said, migraine.
You have now all variations, almost all variations done with the Odysseus. You have it in titanium, you have it in steel.
White gold.
White gold, platinum.
Yeah.
There's no platinum yet. No, okay, this will be the next one probably. 250, 280 grams of...
How long do we know each other, Alexander?
You won't tell me, I know.
Yeah, I mean, you always try, and I like it.
No,
I'm
just guessing. But okay. But the gold watch, I have seen it. I have to agree what Wilhelm said. This color is not gold. No. It's a very specific color, and it's also harder.
Yeah, that makes it more difficult to work with, and that's
it's not so scratchy.
That's the positive side. Yeah. The negative side is, usually the links. If you take normal gold, they will be pulled and pressed. Yeah. You can't press that gold; it's too hard. Too tough. Yeah. So you have to machine it.
This must be a nightmare.
It is indeed.
How many links? Do you know how many links are on the bracelet?
Depending on, I need less links than Tony, but
too many.
There are a lot, and everything has to be done individually. And then also the polishing is a different kettle of fish. It's a very complex bracelet, a very complex case, and that's where we're also limited to 100 because it's a lot of work that goes into it. Yeah. We don't want to have watches that we then deliver in 10 years because that's how long it takes us to produce. It's 100, and then we move on.
And on top of this, you have been presenting a 1815 in 34.
Yes, a hidden hero. Because you're really wondering when you come up with a big high complication and a honey gold Odysseus, it is very hard to create a watch that is not overshined. That little thing, a lot of people call it the hidden hero in the meantime, because on the wrist, and again, that's what I said earlier on, forget about 34 means a small watch. It's all about proportions. Alexander, if you put that around your wrist, it actually looks great, and it looks a lot bigger than 34 millimeter. And it's a watch that I think will be there for a long time. So that's why it is very important.
Not limited, just...
Not limited. a beautiful new movement, 72 hours of power reserve. Factually, the total volume of the watch, heights versus width, probably the smallest movement we ever produced. That's why we can do 34 millimeter. And it has all the beauty of a typical Lange movement. So 3/4 plate, the little golden chatons with the blue screws, water resistance, you know, whatever you think it's there, beautiful.
It's always good to be here. Never stand still. That's
right.
what Lange always says. And free watches is more than enough to present. Some present.
I was joking. I was joking the other day because I said 3 years ago we surprised the world by coming out with just one watch. The Odysseus steel chronograph. The next year we were a lot better, 100% better because we came with 2 watches. Now we come with 4 watches. Even I take, the 1815 comes into.
So either you take 6 next year or you go back in 3, 2, 1.
We're going to see, huh? We will see. We will see.
I'm sure they go back.
As always, we're good for a surprise.
Less is more. That's Lange Söhne. Never stand still. Wilhelm Schmid, thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you very much. And keep it going. I'll keep it going.
As always.
5 o'clock is time for Radeberger beer, and I will be back at 5 o'clock.
We'll wait for you.
I know that you're there. Thanks for watching another video on WatchAdvisor on YouTube. As always, check out all our other videos, especially the one I talked before with Anton Niederhaus presenting the new minute repeater and perpetual calendar. Fucking cool watch. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot for watching the video on WatchAdvisor on YouTube. And if you think that this is your channel, please check out our website, watchadvisor.com, and especially our community section on our website to really get in touch with us, to share lots of things. You will get more detailed information about the watch industry, in-depth videos. More fun will happen there. So if you're interested, have a look at watchadvisor.com.